Israel, a nation blessed with a remarkable history and a land woven into the tapestry of old promises, serves as a symbol of trust and hope. The complex details of God's plan are revealed through the pages of Scripture, highlighting Israel's crucial place in His epic story. Divine intervention is woven throughout Israel's history, from the Israelites' flight from Egyptian servitude to their miraculous conquest of the land of Canaan. But what distinguishes Israel? Why did God pick this country over others? God declared Israel to be His chosen people in a direct address recorded in the book of Isaiah, Isaiah chapter 44, verse 1. However, they were not chosen primarily based on their stature or physical prowess. Instead, it was a result of God's unwavering love and desire to keep the promises He had given to their forefathers. It was written that Israel would be a holy country cherished beyond all others. Abraham, the patriarch of Israel, was the first person to receive this divine calling. Abraham was fortunate because of his constant faith and compliance with God's instructions. Genesis chapter 12, verses 3 and 7, chapter 17, verses 4 and 7 and 8, and chapter 22, verse 17, all contain promises made by God to Abraham that his descendants will grow into a powerful nation and inherit the country of Canaan. Israel became the selected means by which God would carry out His predetermined intentions as a result. These people were given the responsibility of serving God and acting as His earthly agents. They carried out His divine mission and served as His friends and servants. But what does this all mean for the modern world? As we investigate the enigmas surrounding Israel's future, we solve a challenging riddle that is both promising and dangerous. The mysterious Third Temple's possible reconstruction looms large, arousing passionate arguments, escalating political tensions, and capturing the interest of nations. We piece together this complex puzzle as we explore ceremonial purification sites and lost archaeological artifacts. It is a voyage that calls for active participation, interaction with the narrative, and reflection on the relevance of Israel's future. So grab your seat for a unique, immersive experience. Prepare to discover what Israel has to offer that can frighten and inspire the world. Come explore with us the holy thread that runs through Israel's past, present, and future. Welcome to an investigation that will captivate, educate, and inspire you. Let's start exploring the exciting secrets of Israel's future. Together, we shall explore the treasures therein and perhaps learn where each of us fits into this amazing story. Imagine going back in time and being able to see how a divine plan developed. God had a plan from the beginning for Israel. They were intended to be more than simply a country. They were intended to serve as an inspiration to the rest of the globe. They were viewed by God as a kingdom of priests and a holy nation who would be blessed and lead others to righteousness. Israel went through highs and lows of faithfulness and disobedience throughout its history. They prospered and gave the world a living example when they kept God's laws and decrees. When other nations learned that Israel had a special relationship with their God, they couldn't help but be astounded by their knowledge and comprehension. But according to the tale, the Israelites deviated from the course that God had predestined for them. They developed an arrogant attitude and believed that they were superior to other countries. They lost sight of the fact that they were there to serve God and bless others. Their failure serves as a lesson showing us that greatness isn't determined by our own accomplishments, but rather by our humility and devotion to God. In Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 13, God reminds us of the key to leading a fulfilling life. He instructs us to fear the Lord your God, walk in obedience to Him, love Him, and serve the Lord your God with all of your heart and all of your soul. This holds the secret to finding true fulfillment and purpose. Jesus again emphasizes this idea in Mark chapter 2, verse 27. He declared that the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. This assertion calls into question how we perceive rules and laws. It serves as a reminder that our relationship with God should come first in everything we do in life. Therefore, as we explore the protracted narrative of God's chosen people, let us accept the tremendous wisdom that provided in these scriptures as well as learn from their failures. Let's work to fulfill our mission to serve God and be a benefit to others by trying to align our hearts with His will. May we never forget that the ultimate measure of our greatness is not found in our achievements, but in our dedication to God and our affection for the people around us. Consider a group of friends coming together on a peaceful Saturday afternoon, ready to set aside their busy schedules and share a day of rest and worship. They consider the age-old knowledge of God's laws that has been passed down through the generations as they sit beneath the majestic shade of a tree. It involves more than just adhering to a set of laws. It involves feeling the great joy and fulfillment that result from living in accordance with His divine instructions. They recall the tale of God's chosen people, Israel, who struggled to maintain His rules and desecrated sacred days intended for worship and introspection. It serves as a sobering reminder that even the chosen can stumble and overlook what is truly important. But under the new covenant, there is a hopeful promise. God will engrave His commandments deeply within their own beings, writing them on their hearts. Therefore, the laws of God are still applicable to Christians today, transcending time and society. They discover that upholding the law's fundamental values is just as important as adhering to its text. They work relentlessly to organize their lives in accordance with God's directives, much like the conductor of a symphony. As God sets aside this unique day for humans to relax and reconnect with Him, every seventh day transforms into a place of worship and rest. They find comfort and renewal in dedicating this day to their Creator, just as Jesus in the New Testament church kept this hallowed custom. But it doesn't end there. The 10 Commandments, pearls of ancient wisdom, still shine with brilliance. Since the dawn of time, they have guided humanity towards a harmonious existence, a testament to their timeless relevance. These commandments were embraced by ancient Israel, upheld by the New Testament church, and continue to shape the lives of believers today. And let us not forget the yearly holy days of God observed by Israel in the past. As they delve deeper into their significance, they discover a tapestry of symbolism and spiritual meaning. From the Feast of Passover to the Feast of the Tabernacles, these ancient celebrations remind them of their spiritual journey, their deliverance, and their eternal hope. As they immerse themselves in the rich tapestry of God's commandments, history comes alive. The characters of the Bible become more than mere figures on a page. They become mentors, guiding them towards a life filled with purpose and meaning. So let us embark on this journey together as we explore the sacred commandments that still resonate in our lives today. Through stories, reflections, and a shared desire to connect with the divine, may we uncover the hidden treasures that lie within the timeless wisdom of God's laws. God gave the ancient Israelites the mandate to show respect to people of different racial and ethnic backgrounds who settled among God's chosen people. And when an alien lives among you and wishes to observe the Passover to the Lord, let all of his males be circumcised, and then let him come close and observe it. He shall be as a native of the country, according to what God said. One of the customs that God prescribed in both the Old and New Testaments is the Passover. As a result of Exodus chapter 12, verse 48's prohibition against the uncircumcised. In order to demonstrate equality for all, God added, "One law shall be for the native born and for the stranger who dwells among you," which God later added states, "You shall not oppress or mistreat a stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt." The story of Ruth is an excellent example of how God welcomed non-Israelites in the Old Testament. Despite being a Moabite by birth, Ruth eventually came to respect and obey God. Ruth told her Israelite mother-in-law Naomi, after her husband's tragic death, "Your people shall be my people, and your God my God." Ruth later joined the family that God had predetermined would produce Jesus when she married an Israelite. Israel's claim to the Temple Mount and other sections of Jerusalem are strongly criticized on a global scale. Jews are not permitted to worship in Israel due to legislative restrictions, and Muslims, particularly the women in black, keep a continual watch to prevent Jewish travelers. Additionally, a temple there was never present, according to the Islamic authorities. However, recent events have made it possible to reconstruct the temple in our time and have assisted in the temple movement's goals being achieved. Researchers discovered a Jewish ritual cleansing site on the site of the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which Muslims believe was constructed by Abraham centuries ago in response to a claim that a Jewish temple had never existed there. Muslims think Abraham was the one who erected the mosque, and in a paper summarizing his studies of the mosque's foundations after it was devastated by an earthquake in 1927, British archaeologist Robert Hamilton provided evidence for this. The journal Antiquity published Hamilton's article, and he found a Jewish mikveh, a ceremonial pool used for cleansing, beneath the mosque's floor. Jews would undertake religious rites near the site of the Second Temple, submerging themselves in the water there before ascending to the Temple Mount complex. These findings, which were kept secret from the British Mandatories archives because they would anger Muslim officials, evince unequivocally that the old temple once stood atop the current Temple Mount, which Jews regard as a hallowed place. The necessary preparations have already been taken by the Sanhedrin to restore temple worship as soon as possible. Growing the forest that is mentioned in the Bible in order to meet the Third Temple's agricultural demands is one of the initiatives that the group has been working on. Speaking on behalf of the Sanhedrin, Rabbi Hillel Weiss said, "When people think of sacrifices, they think about animals and blood. The majority of the sacrifices, nevertheless, came from plants that were grown all around Israel. The temple functioned as a means for the populace to interact with the divine." Rabbi Rickman, a Sanhedrin member, has been at the center of an initiative to return the revered red heifer to Israel. The ashes of the red heifer must be mixed with water, as it is explained in Numbers 19, to cleanse the Jewish people and prepare them to serve in the temple. Only 9 red heifers were ever used to produce the waters that were used to purify Jews during the almost 1,000-year period between the First and Second Temples. Impurities were washed away with these waters. The Jewish Messiah will bring the 10th one, according to Jewish prophecy. In partnership with an Israeli cattleman who is an expert in the science of animal husbandry, Rickman and other rabbis of the Temple Institute are providing halakhic oversight and guidance. Rickman and the other rabbis of the Temple Institute are embarking on a groundbreaking mission to combine ancient religion customs with modern scientific techniques. Collaborating with an Israeli cattle expert, they have devised a cutting-edge strategy involving the implantation of frozen embryos from North American Red Angus cattle into domestic Israeli cows. This intricate process aims to fulfill the specific requirements for a heifer to participate in the revered ritual of the red heifer. Inspired by archaic religious texts and fueled by contemporary scientific practices, the Temple Institute's research has been a labor of many years. Their dedication has merged the wisdom of the past with the advancements of the present, yielding a truly remarkable result. And as part of their unwavering commitment to preserving tradition, the Sanhedrin and the Temple movement organize reenactments of temple rituals. These meticulously planned events serve not only as a remembrance of ancient practices, but also as a vital training ground for the Kohanim, the esteemed members of the priestly caste. In this immersive instruction, the Kohanim acquaint themselves with the intricacies of the newly constructed altar of burnt offerings and handle the ceremonial implements designed exclusively for the Third Temple. Israel's top court recently acknowledged the complex and sensitive issue of the Temple Mount's location, stating that it requires political initiative rather than legal change. Ancient prophecies like Daniel's prophecy predict the emergence of the Antichrist, who will enter a deceitful covenant with Jewish authorities, leading to the construction of the Third Temple. The anticipation of a rebuilt temple is filled with excitement and anticipation. Israel's future. What will happen to the offspring of the ancient Israelites who were taken captive and deposed of their authority because of their misdeeds? Well, this has been a topic of much discussion. The Bible actually demonstrates that these people still have a bright future. When Christ returns to earth and establishes the kingdom of God, Israel will once again be the preeminent country in the world. This according to Isaiah chapter 11 verse 12 and chapter 14 verses 1 and 2. The people who have been humbled and submitted will then work in the capacity that God has chosen for them. Hey, that's all for today's video. Please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, and make sure you share our video with your family and friends. Thanks for watching, and have a blessed day.